the benevolent we call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Amen.
We thank you for answering the call from on high to attend the forum. Let us join our hearts and minds in preparation to receive the blessings offered. We ask you to please release from your day, from your mind, and center yourself. Breathing in deeply and release. Breathe in deeply and release. Take a deep breath in and release. Relax the tension in your body and your mind. Now bring your full attention to the forum. Be fully present in order to receive and fully retain the discourse gifts. Barbara will be giving us a short message about the video, and also she'll be reading the quote, and we will continue the recording.
Thank you. I just want to make a mention that on this list, this is Buddhist information that we're going to be studying today for the last life cycle ? And at the very end of the list, probably 9, I think it was, they speak about the contemplation of passing. And the reason they state that is because life is a continuous cycle, and they believe that the cycle continues no matter what. It's always going to cycle. You'll pick up another body and you'll have a life in a physical, and then you'll drop the body and come back and keep refining yourself until you mastered 3, 4D. Okay, so I just wanted to say that I don't actually contemplate passing. I contemplate on my lifelong, constant life. So just keeping that in mind. Thank you so much, Judy.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. So now we will read the quote.
Because your voice is important, because your dreams matter, because there is only one you, because you are worth it. So believe in you. Believe in you. It's so important. Remember that. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lovely. Okay, Christine, we're going to stop the recording so we can listen to the video. Thank you. And Barbara, please begin your discourse.
Thank you. So, after watching that, the last life cycle, ? I just want to say this about that. What's so interesting to me is this liberation. To me, is liberation of consciousness, being fully awakened and aware of your eternal mastery of each plane that you work on. The Buddhists, because I guess it's a really old way of looking at things, that is true. It is true. However, I look at it in a little different light. I don't look at it as I'm coming to an end of anything. I'm looking about each level that I reach is the next joyous journey that I'm going to experience. You see, without looking at the end of a cycle of my physical body, which I do identify with and I appreciate it and I know how much it serves me. But I've looked back at all the bodies that I've taken on and it's lost its pull on me to even think about not having this physical body. The interesting part of this timing, though, is what I want to bring up. In 2032, we're supposed to be going through the veil into a 5D experience. This is what everyone's talking about. And as a result of that, when you step through, because of when I passed, when I had the car accident and went to the other side, I was still me exactly. I looked exactly the same. Debbie's mom looks exactly the same, except a much younger version of her. I look forward to that part. And everyone else that comes to me from the other side, they got back their youth and their power and their beauty, and they are in a body. Now you get to the point where you have no form, you're just a light. And we've seen some of the great ascended masters that show up in a beautiful light, and you can't really see them, but you do feel and sense them very, very much so. So, anyway, I just didn't want you to feel any sense of, mortality ending or anything like that, because that's not what that was meant to bring to you. The beauty of it is looking at all the different parts of this. So there were 9 of them, categories, and to see, have you had experiences with any of these feelings, any of these thoughts, any of these reflections? I'm always, my whole life, I've been asking questions. And as I've said before, I only have had a few of them answered until I was an adult to search this stuff out for myself. So, um, a lot of people that are on the planet right now, they really don't know anything about this. They're just they've never searched of the ancient ways and the things that these ancient cultures have hung on to, the understanding of their ancestors, you see? So what's coming is they see an end. They see the world crumbling. They see their bodies aging and getting sick and having problems and nothing goes right, instead of realizing all of the different stages of learning that we came in to do. This is what it's all about. And things that just keep repeating itself, it's because we haven't gotten it yet. We don't get the remedy. And the remedy always is the same thing. It's loving, coming out of the situation, loving, and realizing that this was for me. I went through this so that I could grow, so that I could get over myself, so that I could stop doing whatever it was that caused me to go through that cycle. There were times in my life where, for months on end, the same thing would happen over and over. It just kept repeating itself, and I was getting so frustrated, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I decided one day I wasn't going to react the same way. I was either going to respond or just not do anything and just witness it. And it broke the cycle. It broke it. And as a result of that, I learned, aha. So it means that if something's going on that's really irritating and it won't go away, it's because I didn't change my way of responding or reacting or whatever I usually did. That's why we go through so many learning experiences in every single lifetime. It doesn't seem to end. but it gets easier. Why? As you go through it and you start mastering the things that you were struggling with before, you realize, look at the peace that I brought to myself, that I'm no longer angry when the same thing happened to me 2 months ago. I can look at it now for what it was, what lessons were for me. What did I learn from it? That's what I look at. Every once in a while, something really old comes up, and I start going over what happened and how miserable it was. And then I catch myself and I go, I'm just going to bless the people that I was just thinking about and ask for their forgiveness and forgive them. It's us that suffers if we don't. That's who suffers, not them. We don't know where their mind is or if they even remember the circumstance, but it came back to us because it was for us to heal. You see, life should never run you. And if it does, you need to really sit down and get a handle on this. You make your life what it is. And if things start going wrong, it's because you're not supposed to be doing that. Like my printer wouldn't print. No matter what I did, it wouldn't print. And finally I said, you know what? I got to get ready for the forum. I got to stop messing with this thing. Turned it off, unplugged it, plugged it back in, and tomorrow I'll look at it again. You see, if you fight life, you're going to be miserable. But if you let it happen and really consciously observe it, become a witness of your life. I tended to do this my whole life because as a kid, I was always hiding. There was too much things that scared me. And so I learned to be an observer. And it was very good training, to tell you the truth, because as an adult, it really makes a difference. You can either get entangled in all the noise, or you can witness it and just keep blessing it from your heart and saying, oh my goodness, everybody's so angry. They're so frustrated. Look at them banging away at each other verbally. And it really probably had nothing to do with each other. It's just they were in a bad mood, or you were in a bad mood, or you were both were in a bad mood, and you took it out on each other. These are the things that lower our frequency, which is very, very, um, it's just not a time for this to happen. We've got to be so conscious of this because if we are the ones that are holding the light in the world and we drop our light, our frequency, how is this world ever going to make it into the 5D frequency? You know, this is a responsibility that we signed up for. We did. To me, it's the greatest gift I could ever be involved in. To me, doing for others, helping them to get there, to understand the process, to understand how to get out of the entanglement of emotions and letting your ego run the show. To me, that's the greatest gift God could have ever given me. And all of you know a lot. You've been learning from every angle of life, including every activity that you've been through. You have something very positive to share with others too, because you're not like the mainstream. You're not. And if you are in little ways and it still gives you pleasure, go with it until it doesn't. Yeah. I have 5 closets worth of clothing in my house. And uh, it's because I liked to have nice clothing. Because when I worked, I had to dress very businesslike and I had to look the part. A legal assistant can't walk in jeans and a t-shirt. So, although I don't fit in 2 closets full, that's okay. I'm fine with that, with the hope that I will. But when I do move, I'm not going to hope anymore. I'm just going to take with me what fits me. Do you get it? I don't put myself through torture. If it's still something meaningful that's material for me, I'm not going to knock myself out and say that I have to get rid of things because I want to be so spiritual, because it doesn't make you spiritual. It's your spirituality that eventually says, yeah, I don't need all this. I don't need really much at all. You have your little stuff that you always have and you always use, and that's all you need. And you start to feel the weight of having too much. You really do. And after a while, you say to yourself, oh my goodness, it's like a burden to have too much. Everybody goes through this at different times. Yeah. So some of the stuff that was in here, this unshakable inner peace that he spoke of, you can't make it up. And I'm telling you, you can't. You either feel it or you don't have it yet, not to the degree that he was expressing. An inner peace, not when everything's going good. It's when you're challenged with a lesson or any type of action that happens in your life or activity or circumstance that anybody in their usual way would react. When the printer wouldn't work, I was talking to it saying, what is your problem? I have to get done with this job and I need you to print. And then I asked one of the angels to enter in and whatever was wrong with it to fix it. And then I noticed if I looked at the little chart, it said there was a paper jam. So I ripped the thing apart, found the thing and put it back together, but it still wouldn't print. That meant leave it alone and go on with something else. If you let yourself get frustrated and you just keep trying to push because you want something when it isn't appropriate timing wise, that's what happens. The frustration comes up and you have to deal with that. The constant desire to serve others. And I know quite a few of you are like this. You've already been doing this for many, many years. It's such a joy to be helpful, to be able to uh, offer whatever it is that you can, and to see a person stabilize because you were willing to do that. What a gift to humanity. And that's God working amongst the people through you, if you're willing, if you're willing. Seeing through the illusion of ego. Oh my goodness. What a revelation that is. But you can look at somebody and from what they're saying and how they're acting and what they're experiencing, you'll know that they're talking through a different place than their heart. They want to be recognized, they want to be acknowledged, they want to be important because they're still living in their ego. Why? Because they don't believe they're worthy. They don't believe whatever it is they're trying to always show you. It's very, very obvious, and eventually you'll recognize it in 3.5 seconds. You're not judging it, you're just recognizing it. And if that gives them pleasure, or if that's where they're stuck and they don't ask for help, then you just send them blessings and hope that they will discover on their own where they're coming from. Are they coming from their heart of hearts, from the divine portion of themselves? Or are they coming from that ego driven fame and glamour and all of the things that we want to fit in? I'm the last person in the universe that wants to fit into this mess down here. And I never did. Rejection of materialism and status. There was a lot of people that they still hang on to what they did, and they're not even doing it anymore. I was the president of something. I was, on the board. I was this. I was a lawyer. I was that. if that's your identity, you're missing the purpose of life. No matter what you do for your job, it was so that you could get that experience for whatever reasons were coming, so that you could be with the people that you were going to be with during that period of time that you're there, so that you could make some money, of course, and also to find friends. Friends are there. So those are the reasons you're there. And you have contracts with all the people, the ones that liked you and the ones that didn't, you see? And because you needed to be with these people to forgive them, to hope that they can forgive you, but that's not your job, so that you could interact and learn from them, see what you never want to see, that you never want to do, and the things you say, wow, I'm going to try that. I think that is so perfect. I want to do that too. That's why you're there. So, um, a strong pull towards spirituality. For most of us, we were there a long time ago, just so interested in things that weren't mainstream. To me, mainstream was pretty boring and repetitive, just noise. And I never liked it. I couldn't sit with girls and sit in a coffee cloche, and they're all talking about things I could care less about. But if somebody's with me and we're having a real conversation, to me, that I'll stay there all day. Yeah, because that is enriching. That is really something where you're interacting on an intellectual and spiritual level that is so satisfying. My brother used to say to me, how come you don't like to date guys? What's wrong with you? I said, I like to have guys that I can have an intellectual relationship with. I don't want all of the, nonsense that goes on. And he laughed at me. He thought it was really, dumb because he was always going out with different girls. And I know why. It wasn't for an intellectual experience. But we all need what we need and we do what we do. But that to me is so enriching because you never know. Somebody could say something that changes your whole life. Your whole life. The answer to the question you had since you were little. You never know who's going to say something like that. Yeah. And they don't have to be walking around like, a guru. They just are just them. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's an honor to be with them. The sense of detachment. It's a lonely road, and I know it very, very well. I used to be so lonely because nobody understood me. Nobody wanted to understand me when I was little. And so as a child, I didn't have anyone I could talk to. My friends, yeah, there was a couple of them, but they weren't really into what I was. But they were nice and they were friendly, and I liked that. But as far as adults, just wasn't working out too well because the questions I asked, they didn't have the answers. And I'm sure some of you had the same experience. So it's very, very lonely as you detach yourself from the world that's so uncomfortable. And yet you're out there because you have to be out there. And it was good that you keep going because when you stop, you're back in the cave. And if you're in a cave, there's no mirrors to bounce off of. And it slows you down so much that you actually feel like you wasted years and years of your life. Don't get caught in any of the traps. Look at the various categories that were here, and you'll see that you're experiencing probably most of all of it. The reoccurring dreams. I am having dreams every single night now. It used to be every once in a while, and they're very profound. They're in living color. They're so real, it's scary. It's because I really did go to the inner planes, and so are you. And now but I just can't put my finger on why I'm having some of these dreams. They're really crazy. And I don't know the people, and I don't know what's happening. Like I was telling Debbie, I was with some person and they're telling me I don't have the right paperwork. It's like, what paperwork? And I can't figure out what they were trying to get the point across to me. And I was in, a building that I didn't recognize with all these big windows and I could see inside the rooms and just crazy. Other times I actually remember glimpses of being on the other side and listening to great discourses from some amazing beings of light. And that to me is the dreams I want to have all the time. But whatever comes up, I just ask whoever it was that was in that dream, it could have been from another lifetime. And they just came for me to forgive them and ask them to forgive me and bless them. And on their way they go. And usually don't come back, thank God. All right. So I still have time. All right. So I don't know if you're having dreams, but they're really take note of them and see what you feel. But really, if it's a person and someone you know or don't know, they're coming to get your blessing, honestly, and that's it. And you're having closure on karmic uh, agreements and also contracts. We don't need to know. All we need to do is do our part. Free yourself from all the things that are already complete except for one thing, your blessing. And that ends the whole contract. Now people tell me that there's people training others to cut the cords of contracts. Big mistake. It is a lack of understanding. These are contracts you made to heal, to forgive, and to make up for whatever it was that happened in another experience, whether it's as a child or in another lifetime or on another planet. It doesn't matter. Take everything and make it a gift. Make it a gift. You don't have to go back in time. Your higher self brings everything to you right in this lifetime. So if you're sitting around dwelling on things, just get the blessing in there and move on. Don't sit and fret about it. That's patterns you need to let go of because it's holding you back from your joy. We came here to lie down in green pastures, remember? And all we do is work and work and work and work. We do it to ourselves. Remember that. And nobody's doing it to you. And you can change it because you're the only one that can by making the decision. I'm not doing it anymore. Do you ever say that? I'm not doing this anymore. And you free yourself, but you got to hold on to that. If you fall back and hit that pattern again, it's like, you said no. And when you make a promise to yourself, you need to hold on to that. Don't ever go back to something that was bringing you pain. Hold true, even if people are not taking it well, because they're used to the old you and they liked that because it was working out for them. But now you have to think of yourself and what you need, and they'll just have to get used to it. And they will. They will. This is being authentic, absolutely honest in your feelings, in your thoughts, in your actions. Just be you. Can you do that? Do you want to do that? The only person you came in to be was you. And P.S., nobody else can do that. And God was hoping and a praying that you do that because He sent you in here to be you and to influence those that are in your life. Yeah. being authentically you. Wow. I used to wonder who that would be when I was young. I and everybody that would come for counseling, they'd say to me, "What am I doing here? Well, what's my purpose? What's the purpose of even being here? It's so boring, or it's so repetitious, or it's so hard." And I said, when the day comes that you say the opposite of what you just said to me, then I'll know that your life gave you and you took the gift of why you were here. Yeah, because now you know yourself. You know why it was happening. You did it to yourself because of your belief. Yeah. Soon as you correct the belief side and then steadfast follow that path, don't fall back, because your higher self is saying, let's give her a test and see if she really is going to hold on to that new way that she said. Yeah, I fell for it a lot of times. Yeah. Now I just laugh. I laugh because I understand. And when you understand something, it gives you such peace. It really does. Because you get it, why everything happens. And you can't blame anybody because you understand that you're writing your own script. What a wonderful life. All right, it's 1 minute two. I'm going to close here. Oh, and I want to say, for those listening on YouTube, you can join us. Go to the website, ourdivineorigin.com, and you can send me an email and get right on to the Wednesdays. If not, just enjoy watching the video. It's only segment one and the closure. And but I want you to know that you can see the video. It had a little glitch in it twice or something. I don't know what happened. It wasn't there when I listened to it. Um, and the song, and you heard the quote, but just hit more underneath the title and then more again, and it's the third section that has that. All right. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Barbara, and God bless you. Okay, so Christine, we're going to stop the recording.
You See Me, the song, so touching, so beautiful. Your guides, your higher self, the angels, everyone that volunteers to be with you, stays with you, watches you go through all the stages. They understand how hard it is. This is a tough place to be, but they stay and they work with us. They don't save us. They can't. It breaks universal law, but they will help you. Sometimes even save your life, like they did for me several times. And I'm sure you too. So this song touches me to the depths of my soul in gratitude that we're not alone. We've never been, and we never will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Powerful. Okay, so Christine, we are not recording, so we're going to move into. Thank
Okay.
you, Barbara.
Thank you. All right, last life cycle. There's no end to life, but what the Buddhists talk about is the end of the cycle of birth and death. We're going into our eternal bodies that we're going to be able to be forever and ever, and just continue on with what we call life, whether it's in the physical, on the inner planes, wherever it is. That's where we're going to be moving forward. The wonder of life is that we absolutely want to know everything so that someday we can be a type of God in our own universe that we're building inside us. And that universe has to be clean and cleared and beautiful and perfect, perfect in the eyes of God. In other words, light. And that's what we're doing. We're becoming ready to do that. If we are going to be Christed, then there's no question in my mind that is a God. That's a type of God. And there's all different offices, so to speak. The office of the Christ, the office of the Buddhic services. There's the mental realm where people go there and they're in their glory being in that mental realm. I wonder if that's where Loring's going to end up and take a little break from all this. And so there's all different experiences you can have. There's a realm where you can go and become just be with the inventors, the people that come up with ideas, and then they find somebody on earth to send it down to, and then they get the inspiration. I used to pick up stuff like that when I was little. I'd usually do it when I was sitting on the floor of the car going to my grandmother's house because I couldn't see the light going by the windows or I'd get very ill. And I would get inspiration and I'd tell my father and he'd reach around and smack me and say, "Stop talking about such stupid things." And then it ended up being invented. Boy, was he mad about that. Three things I had come up with. And just this inspiration that comes from the inner planes. And there's so many realms, realm upon realm, and different lifestyles and what you do there and what you learn there. And then you move on and you keep moving on and you can do whatever you want. Nobody tells you what to do or when to do it. Yes, you will have your guides with you, and they will help you to continue on your divine path. However, you always make the choice for yourself. You always will. Just remember that you're a free, sovereign being, and there's nothing and no one that wants to tell you what to do. You're honored and respected just the way you are, and with the hope that you will reach that level of light that we would call divine, your divine potential. And it's a beautiful place to be because the peace that passes understanding when you're not working through all the things you are here in the matrix, where everything circles back and slaps you in the head when you send something out that's a lower vibration. But when you send things out that are of the high vibration, you are healing anybody that goes through your fields or who you direct it to. How are you healing them? You're giving them enough light to continue on, to lift up higher, to open their eyes, remove the veils from the eyes and the ears so that you can see, truly see, and truly hear, not just what is coming out of the mouth of another person. You see? We have divine gifts, and they're all waiting for you to discover them. Always look at it in a positive way. Never say, I can't. I can't do that. No, don't say that. And I'm still trying to teach my husband this. If you're finding difficulty with something, keep telling yourself, I can do this. Remember that little train that said, I can, I can, I can, the little train in the kids' storybook? Well, that's us. Just have to convince ourselves until we actually do it. And when you all of a sudden realize that you have been using gifts and you've been getting inspiration and it's making an impact in your life, you're going to find out there's a lot more you're actually experiencing. You're just not utilizing them or recognizing them yet. Okay? Nobody's higher than you. Nobody. There are a lot of people that are not really on this path yet. They're not seriously looking at their spirituality. A lot of people are still hooked into needing an intermediary between God and themselves, not even realizing who we really are, divine beings. Yeah. So, with all of that in mind, just realize wherever you are right now, what you love about your life, keep doing it. What you don't love, do something about it. Change your mind and then stick to the new pattern that you want to set up. And you'll always be tested until you prove to your higher self you did it. You graduated. You got that another segment of your life practice and work. You have graduated. And boy, what a wonderful day that is. I'm sure they do the happy dance in their way. And I also do a happy dance when I see myself being the person that I want to be all the time, not just sometimes when everything's going good. It is so important and it means so much because that's why I'm here. I'm here to do that for myself. And if anyone sees the joy or the grace or the goodness or the wisdom of it, well, I feel blessed about that too. And I will speak to anybody that wants to hear the truth. The truth as I know it. The truth is I'm being told by my guides and my higher self. Try to get a conversation with your higher self. Just be talking. Just talk to her or him. Just have a conversation. Did you see that? Did you see what that guy did? That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking to Charlie who thinks I'm talking to him. I'm talking to my higher self and having this whole conversation all the time because it's so important that we have a relationship with who we really are. You see? That's who we really are. So, on that note, I'm going to close. I hope you enjoyed this and didn't dwell too much on the closure of a physical body thing. It, yeah, because I really feel that all of us who are still standing are going to be able to get all the fixins that we need to get back our strength. And aging is really just a belief system. It really isn't real. So I'm not going to look like this much longer as long as I can get into a med bed. Yeah. I wonder if my hair will be dark again. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, when I see people who pass over, and I've already counseled them that you could be any age you want, within 3.5 seconds, they are already at the age they wanted to be. I see them in, yeah, in living color. And so I know the continuity of life personally, not just because of the car accident and coming back, but because I can speak to people on the other side. And the people that I know that pass, they come to me right away. My sister-in-law came to me within the hour of her passing. That was the quickest anybody ever, ever, ever did. Yeah. And it was really special. Yeah. And they can see you differently than they did when they were here because the veils are off, you see, and they can really see your light and feel you in a way that they couldn't before because their sensory system is wide open. Yeah. So just know that life is forever and you've never not been and you never will end. And it's not that you'll be here in this matrix, but you'll be wherever you choose to be. And if you do stay here, the planet will be the base that we'll be living in will be 5D. And so it's not a place. You don't go somewhere. Heaven isn't like some outer space. It's a consciousness, a level of consciousness. So we can stay right here and be in that level of consciousness and enjoy the beauty that we can't see yet on the planet. When Janet sent that picture of the paradise that she's in Atlantis on that island, I'm telling you, I said that's what the earth used to look like, north, south, east, and west. It was paradise, lush and green, and the water was aquamarine and it was gorgeous. And it was called paradise the very first time that I ever came here. Yep. And boy, that was a long time ago. And some of you were there too. Yeah. So right now, just keep going forward. Enjoy every day as if it's the last day, you know? Don't waste a day being glum. Find something to be happy about. Put a smile on your face. Somebody else is going to see it and you're going to help them to feel better too. It's tough right now. A lot of pressure on a lot of people, especially those that are having physical ailments that are really, really a crisis for them. We're very fortunate. We really are that we're in the position we are. We're in the health that we are because the sadness is that a lot of people younger than us, very, very young, are having a really hard time. Yeah. Yes, they wrote it in their script, no doubt. However, it doesn't make it easy. And we can't lose that compassion just because we understand that they wrote that in their script, you know? They do deserve our assistance through our love and compassion. All right. So segment 3, if you all want to stay, or some of you do, I have the thing up behind here of Agartha. We're going to look at all of the entry points around the planet, and we're going to do some light work at those entrances and exits. Okay? All right. Thank you very
Thanks so
much.
much.
And anyone watching this, I just want you to know that you can join us and get to hear everything that we do. God bless you all. Amen.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Beautiful. Okay, so please remain muted and we will say the closing prayer.
Oh, we want to record.
Yeah. Okay. We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency ever higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.
Amen.
We invite all of you now to remain for the guided meditation. However, before the segment 3 starts, if you need to sign off, please unmute and say blessings, good wishes, and good night to each other.
Good night.
Good night to everyone.
Have a great week and month.
Okay, I guess recording off.